Welcome to Cash Talk, the podcast where we delve into the depths of finance, business, and life itself. I'm your host, John Cachia, a multi-award-winning wealth advisor with a passion for empowering ambitious Australians to confidently achieve financial freedom. Hey everyone, before we get started, this is a quick reminder that everything in this podcast is of a general nature and nothing has been tailored to your personal circumstances. So please seek personal financial advice before acting on this information. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cash Talk, and I'm joined here today by Ayten. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Yeah, not bad at all. I'm feeling good. I've been getting really back into my health. I've had a few kind of health scares with my back in regards to just having some injuries and stuff, but now feeling really good, really pumped. Just had my third boy, or my wife just had our third boy.
Congratulations.
Which is lovely. So, you know, we're in a really kind of happy bubble at the moment, you know, enjoying Barbs and watching the boys kind of enjoy little man. And yeah, we're just in a good place. And obviously, there's always moving parts in your life, but I love the busyness. I love I love the action-packed life that we've got, which is kind of strange.
Yeah, if you weren't busy before, obviously, with a new baby, definitely busy now.
Yeah.
Outside of, work, family is obviously the thing that takes up most of the time for most of us, and especially you being so family-oriented.
Yeah. It's very good. And you know what? Over the years, I've just found myself even more that, I don't like to be not busy. My mum would obviously would say to me often is, John, you always try to fill your diary with something, or you're always trying to do something. And if it would be renovating my house or going traveling, we're just not that stay and do nothing type of people. So, no, it's really good. And I hope your family's been well as well.
Yeah, all good. We're hanging out to go overseas, just counting down the hours, get out of the Melbourne cold. But looking forward to it. It's
a lot of good vision I'm seeing from a lot of our clients and a lot of our friends overseas, enjoying the lovely European or American summers, or the northern summers. And it's really, really good to see. But today we're going to be speaking about something that I have no clue about. Ayten actually said that she wants to come up with the topic, keep it a little bit of a surprise. So, what are we actually talking about today?
Well, today we're going to dive into a little bit more about you. So, we've all heard your story in other podcasts, how you kind of started, but I just want to get to know a bit more about how it all kind of eventuated, where this passion stems from, and like how you got to where you are today. So I started a few months ago, and I met you, like I'd seen you around in socials and stuff, but I'd met you in person, and we even spoke on the phone initially. And that conversation was so easy and flowing. And then I met you in person again. That was so easy and flowing. And I felt the leadership skills. I mean, I think I've mentioned this to you before. It's easy to be a boss, but it's not easy to be a leader. So where does that leadership come from? How did this adventure for you having your own business start? Take us back to that start.
Yeah. Well, very interesting topic that we're going to be covering today. So, when we talk about John and who John is, obviously it comes from my very, very formative years. Okay, so very, very early on in regards to probably my grandfather and my father having the most amount of influence, also coupled with, my immediate family having that. But my dad was very much always a natural born leader. Okay, my mum, so just for a bit of history, my dad used to be a professional boxer. Was on TV ringside in the 70s, did very, very well until my grandfather was diagnosed with cancer, so he had to give up professional boxing to then take care of his family eventually. Sure. Okay, but very, very good boxer. And me and my siblings were very much around that kind of boxing mentality. If you're down, get up. If you're down, get up. But also my dad had very much of those entrepreneurial skills, having a business back in the 80s and 90s that was quite successful before he made a terrible mistake in the business, and that business failed before he took on another business. So I was observing this very, very young. And so we can go all the way back to like kindergarten, where my mum went to go pick me up and I'd be there reading the book to all of the kids inside the classroom, not the teacher.
Yeah.
And the teacher would just be like to my mother, like, look at your son.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I always had those. My dad said I was always a natural born leader, but as early as I can remember, I always wanted to carry people with me to be better. Yeah, and so even in throughout primary school, I'd always be looking at not necessarily who are the cool kids to hang around with, who are the kids that needed that support and that leadership to be flourishing and be better.
Yeah.
And if I actually observed my friendship groups from primary school, they would be most likely with the kids that were a little bit outside the main group. Yeah. But I didn't see myself as like this, look at me and be around me. It was more like, nah, cool, you're not playing with anyone else. I'll play with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I always had that caring nature to just help support. And I think if you then flow that to like 14, which was a definitive year when I went to go start working at my cousin's place, I was just forming those leadership skills.
Yeah.
And then that coupled with, okay, now I'm in financial planning. I can now impactfully change and support, though I didn't know it back then, so many people. And so as I progressed working with my cousin until the age of 20, I found that my passion and my what I wanted to achieve wasn't being delivered in that place. And I can honestly tell you, I didn't know myself then. So I didn't know why I had an argument with my cousin to leave that business and why we separated in bad times where, you know, I get along with him now. But like right then in that moment, why I walked out of the business kind of going, you're an idiot, you're this, blah, blah, blah. And I stormed out. I couldn't care about leave, paychecks, 20-year-old guy, no responsibility. I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
However, that is because I saw so many people that we could have helped.
Yeah.
And we weren't truly helping them. And so why I say I didn't know was because when I came back to start the business, I fell into those ways. I fell into the ways of seeing someone surface level fixing their stuff. Like I wasn't doing bad things. We're not talking about doing bad things. It's more around it wasn't grabbing them and then forcefully pushing them to where they need to go so that they're like, oh my gosh, this is great.
Yeah.
And so I would say that I was doing traditional financial advice, which is, for all intensive purposes, everyone, traditional financial advice back in the mid 2000s, late 2000s, was no one had a clue about superannuation. We would put them into a better superannuation account that was more fee conscious. Could be we could move their investments inside their superannuation. We could do a couple of contribution strategies, and we would also get them some insurance. And for people that have seen advisors in the past, that's probably been their experience. And a lot of bad came out of that because that people would build businesses based on sales machines because you'd get so many people involved in the business, like from a volume perspective, you charge them a fee on top of their superannuation. That would go to the advisor and you'd build this big business of recurring revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did that to the point where I had to put food on the table. And I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm not saying that I did things bad. I did things good. I always gave advice that was in people's best interests. However, I came into the realization in my probably mid to late 20s. So I'm probably about like 8 years into the business at this point, where I'm just like, am I really leading people to a better future?
Yeah. Like, I'll get into that a little bit later, but just at the age of 20, how did you know, like, I want to start a business and take that step? Obviously, you've come from like a entrepreneurial background with your family having businesses, and sometimes, like for myself, I don't have any entrepreneurs in my family. So that step for me would be such a big step and such a scary step. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, I actually thought that I had no option.
Yeah.
Because at that point, my cousin was my idol.
Yeah.
He was my role model when it came to financial planning, and to this day, best financial advisor I know, bar none.
Yeah.
Okay, and Chris, shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, best. However, best at what advice was back then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we meet up every now and then, and he grabs me, and he saw me win the Transformation of the Year award. He was there, which was emotional, being there.
Yeah.
And he just grabs me, and he's just like, John, I'm so proud of what you've been able to achieve,
Yeah.
and you've transformed advice. Because what he does and what I do, it's like we're running in two different industries now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So I had no option for the fact that I couldn't go from the person who I considered the best financial planner in the country to go to what? What was I going to?
Yeah.
Like what? To the same thing or less? I wasn't going to learn new ideas. I wasn't going to impactful each other. Look, but funnily enough, these were natural reactions. I didn't sit there and go, okay, cool. This is how I'm going to do it. No, that's not how it worked, everyone. It literally happened. Like a guy calls me and says, John, we can't have you out of the industry. You need to get back in. We will give you a financial planning business license to a 20-year-old. Like, guys, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Okay? I think at the time, Ayten, I think I was the youngest financial planning principal, like owner of a business in the country. I'm not going to say I was 100% because I don't know definitively, but...
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. 20 is quite young.
Yeah, 20. Like, I was just so young, yeah. But yeah, I just forged a business where I'm going to be like, nah, I'm going to be in control of my own destiny.
Yeah.
Leadership once again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pave the way of a new way of doing things. And it took me 8 years to figure out what that new pathway is.
Yeah.
Because when you're creating a whole new way of doing things, and our tagline at Thriving Wealth is a new way forward.
Yeah.
And we've been working on our business rebrand for about 2 or 3 years. And when we came up with that, I was just like, oh, that is like so spot on.
Yeah.
Because that's what John's been working on for the last 8, 9 years in regards to this new way forward. And today we're delivering it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the leadership skills at 20 to be able to go out in a business came probably from my father, from my natural upbringing, but also realizing, and I actually spoke about this at another podcast, but was around, my grandmother told my father one key thing. She said to my dad, you're born naked, you die naked, everything in between is just fun and games.
Yeah.
And so you got to think about this. I started with this with nothing, and I may leave with this as a nothing, but I'm going to give it a red hot crack.
Yeah.
And me being a leader and who I am, would I regret not having the crack, or if I had the crack?
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, who I am,
Yeah.
I need to have that crack.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm doing stuff with kids now to try and break the mold in regards to kids' education around money. Like, if you talk about that, massive problem, not just locally. We're talking global problem.
Yeah.
That, humbly me, is trying to break through.
Yeah.
You know, so it just consistently continues to come. And it, obviously, when you joined us, it was around, how can I empower this person who knows nothing about our way to impactfully change every single person you speak to? And the only way to do that is by role modeling it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting for me because I don't have I've got a traditional financial planning background, and it's amazing to see that might still be the right way for some people, but I feel like the way that you're going, it's more goals-based.
Yep.
And more about getting deep in, getting to know clients and, you know, what they really want, modeling it out, the way that you do the presentations and the way that you talk to the clients. Your mind is always ticking, even when you're just having a normal conversation with you. I can see everything is ticking. So you've always got something in the works. So it's not like you've kind of reached a point where you're like, okay, that's it, I can't do any more. You've just come up with, you know, new things and better ways. And one of the, obviously that's entrepreneurial side of things. the other side is the leadership, because as you just mentioned, you want people to come with you. You don't want people to be lagging behind. You want everyone to be on the same page. Actually, one of the things that I noticed when I started working here is that everyone in the team is helpful. Everyone is willing to do what it takes to be part of the team. No one's an individual in this company. So I've worked at other places, big places, small boutique places, and it just kind of seems like either the boss has got his own ways and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, or there are just people who are just doing their own thing. No one's really bothering them if they've been there for such a long time. I don't find that vibe here. How do you go about getting the right people and also teaching them the ways, but also keeping them motivated?
Yeah, big question. Great observations. I think the biggest thing is I'm willing to roll up my sleeves.
And I've noticed that too, absolutely.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is that all the greatest successful leaders are not the people that I believe what are successful are not the ones that are on Friday playing golf. Now, people might say, John, you've got wrong way of thinking about it. Prove me wrong if you can, yeah? But listen, if you're trying to change your world, what the hell are you doing playing golf?
Yeah.
There is someone out there that I can help and support to improve their life. Literally in the last 24 hours, which people, just so you all know, like I have a team that support people. However, I can't help myself. I've probably had a dozen phone calls in the last 24 hours that have put clients at ease, solved spot fires, stopped them from making bad decisions. I'm on holidays. I'm in Europe. And my wife's like, John, just you do you, what you need to do for an hour or two.
Yeah.
And my team are like, John, chill out. Go. Yeah, cool. But my chill out is different. Remember, I want to impactfully change as many people as I can. So I'll be there in Europe, for example, and I'm like, babe, I've just got to spend an hour on the laptop, yeah? And I've just got to make sure that my team is okay.
Yeah.
Now, you got to think about this, yeah? If you know that your leader is going to be there in the good times and in the bad, you wonder why I have a team that will go through brick walls together.
Yeah.
Because they know that I will go through a brick wall. John's in Europe. I needed something. He's like, call me now. I've been walking around the Colosseum with my mobile like I'm in just in Melbourne. And people are like, what is going on? But I'm like, no. But I have my downtime. I don't miss a moment with my children.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how can that happen? That's because I can call you and say, Ayten, I need to do this. You got it? Got it. Of course I got it, John. You don't even need to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's vice versa. At the same time, if you look at the best leaders, they're the ones that empower people to be better.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at yourself or looking at other team members, I'm saying, how can I make you great? Not how you can make me great, how I can make you great.
Yeah.
And if you actually look at most of my communication, and I've noticed this because people have said it in the past, I often say we.
Yes.
Often. Like, it's very rare for me to say I.
Yeah.
It's actually, I feel a little bit weird saying I.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even when people are like, John, you're a great advisor, or you're this, I'm like, mate, my team makes me look really good.
Yeah.
And they do. So this starts from the leader. And then you've got to have the attributes and the values of the team. Okay. So when it comes to hiring people or working with people, my brain automatically selects now, after so many times, the people that I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that I have a perfect track record with recruiting? No. Because my key ones are based on ethics and values. Okay? I want to more know about you at home than you at work.
Yeah.
Yeah? So, is she a family person? What's the highest priorities in life? Where does she want to be in 5 or 10 years? And does those values and those beliefs meet mine or match mine and then match the businesses?
Yeah.
And you got to think about this. if you do that and everyone's got the same values, yeah, and this is very much a family orientated business, and that's the sole purpose of this. If you can carry that forward with some really strong momentum, because there's been times where this business has been put under extreme pressure due to time constraints, deadlines, whatever, and we push through better because it's the values that are gravitating the people to go, I'm not going to let you down and you're not going to let me down, because ultimately we're doing it for this reason.
Yeah, correct.
Not doing it for the sake of just making money. And this was the biggest thing that I had to wrap my head around with very, very early on, because I did get into this industry wowed by the amount of money you can make. Okay? If I can impactfully change as many people as I can, the money will come. And so ultimately, when I go through that, leader needs to be the role model, the values and whatnot, really, really what I'm looking for in the person is the answer to that question. Would you do your job if you weren't getting paid for it?
Yeah.
And if the answer, they won't never tell you, but
Yeah.
if the answer is yes, because I want to help that person, I want to make them better, we can work together.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're delivering. We're delivering change to people with passion.
Yeah. And like some of the things that you said really are true. I mean, obviously I work for you, but I mean, like I mentioned before, like I've worked for different people and different types of managers as well. You know, sometimes people just fall into management because they've been there for a long time. That's just like gradually the next step up. But that they actually don't have the leadership skills, and they don't have the skills to motivate other people. And the other thing that really frustrated me in my previous roles is that the answer I used to always get is, this is how we do it. And so no one's really forward thinking. But the way that you integrate yourself in the business, but also on the business, it's quite fascinating to see, because everyone's so willing to, obviously because of the way that you are, so willing to step up and go above and beyond their role. I'll use myself as an example. Previously, I mean, I've got a family, right? So my priority would be to get home at a certain time and then be with my kids. You provide the flexibility to be able to be with my kids, but also the motivation to do my job when the kids do go to sleep. So I'm motivated to do extra and above and beyond, because I know that it's a two-way street. It's not like you've got to do this, you've got to be at your desk at 9 and leave at 5 o'clock. I mean, the reality is that's not how life kind of operates.
But get deeper than that. The actual reason why you're doing that, I don't know if you've realised, is because you know that what we're delivering transforms people's lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you did it without transaction,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be getting, when the kids go to sleep, you wouldn't be jumping back on.
Yeah.
Why does John answer the phone at the front of the Colosseum and said, hey, babe, just wait 1 second, we're going to take a phone call? Is because the person on the other phone, on the other end, that needs us.
Yeah.
Okay? And so that's the difference of thriving wealth.
Yeah.
And I needed to create that, because I haven't seen that. People that have been in this business, come from external, have looked in, have said, John, your culture is impeccable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I haven't been in another business.
Yeah.
Like the only benchmark I have is my cousins.
Yeah.
So I've created this culture based on what I want.
Yeah.
And so that's very interesting to see how other people are. And I think it only just comes natural. And it's just, it's been re-emphasized by that kid very early on that wanted to support people. But I do want to kind of talk about, because we're talking about this, when it comes to people's wealth, this is the thing that I need to get across to people. That we're not doing it just to put a Band-Aid on this stuff. We're doing it to actually change things. For you to actually change, there's a lot of moving parts, and it takes a very, very unique skill set to be able to actually make that happen.
Yeah.
Traditional financial planning does not deliver that. Coaching courses don't deliver that. DIYs don't deliver that. There is no other business, organisation in Australia that I can say that I have seen, and I've seen a lot, you've seen, that transforms people's lives the way we do.
Yeah. And
people that are listening to that might be blown away by my statement and what I've just said, please show me. I would like to see, not out of, oh my gosh, look what we've got. No, I actually want to see it because I want other businesses to be able to impactfully change people's like we are.
Yeah.
And I wish I could do this at a huge, huge scale and get funding from the government and whatever's needing to be capable. I wish there was a FinCare system, like a Medicare system, and I could deliver this to everyone. Obviously, we can't. And you got to think about that. To get to that point in 2024, to be able to say that and deliver that, well, what are we doing in comparison to traditional financial advice? Well, as you know, the most common thing that people come to see a financial advisor is I have either a bucket of money that I want to invest or I need you to help me with a specific issue.
Yeah.
However, like I had a conversation with a person today. God, this happens every day. I was just speaking to her. She was a referral from one of our legal referral partners that sends us clients when they see the specific pain points, let's call them, that people need, because most people aren't aware that they need to see us. And she calls me up and she says, listen, I'm about to settle on a property. She goes, it's $1.1 million. I'm about to pay in cash. I'm calling you because I've also gone to the bank and got a $150,000 mortgage just so I can have some cash reserves left over. Cool. So what do you want me for? She goes, I want you to tell me if I should have the loan or not. Now, that's typical, guys. Yeah, just a specific thing.
Yeah.
And the conversation went something like this. It went like, cool, thank you very much, for letting me know. Why are you concerned about not having a cash reserve? Oh, because, see, things come up in life and I haven't really planned that out. I want to be making sure that I'll move to part-time in the next few years. So I want to be Can you see where this is going?
Yeah.
By being able to, first ask the right question, I started to get her from transactional thinking to now a deeper level of thinking straight away.
Yeah.
All right. But we then went deeper in the conversation. The conversation ended up to the scenario where she forgot about actually what she was talking to me about and realized how complex her situation was and how there was all of these moving parts and she needed someone to coordinate off this so that she doesn't put herself in a pickle like she's put herself right now to execute on a decision within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How do we do that?
Full on.
Well, first and foremost, we need to understand that client, which we're going to do. We're going to grab all of her information. We're going to extrapolate that, map that all out, put all of her goals in, all of her goals and aspirations, map it all out. And then we can start to make clear decisions on what she needs to do today that's going to impact her in 5 or 10 years from now. But that's only scratching the surface. Cool. You can create the greatest plan. How many people stick to them? So this was my other thing. But along this journey was around, okay, cool, you can do financial planning.
Yes.
But how do you make these people stick to this thing? Cool. So then along my journey, I realized that I'll have to deliver to, let's call this person that we're about to go down this journey with. She has got herself in the situation she is because she does not know better. For one, this person needs to get educated. This is where my passion for kids, because if I can plant the seeds there, it's going to be much easier later on. However, we need to educate this person. We need to let her understand what she has done wrong, why she has put herself in the situation, which she hasn't put her bad in a situation. Remember, she's paying for a house full in cash. It's not like she's in dire straits, everyone. But she could have optimized it and moved into better positions, and especially in regards to what she's looking to do. So we need to educate her on what she needs to do better, how she can think about that. I had another conversation with a lady early on that made a $300,000 mistake simply by just not looking at the situation from another side. So we need to make them look around corners they can't see through education. Cool. So I imagine we've now got the plan, which is traditional financial advice. Okay. We probably do it at a much more advanced level, so I won't undercook,
Yeah.
But we then now need to educate, which is foreign. Because as you know, Ayten, it's usually like get the facts, do the plan, and deliver the product to back up that plan. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we need to educate this person. Educate them, make them smarter, make them aware, understand, so that they are now empowered and enabled to work with money better on a daily basis. And once again, this is coming from a systemized leadership skill from John. Yes, embedded in a process now. Third thing is you can have all the planning, you can have all the education, but you then have the wrong mindset. Coupled with side by side with the behaviors. So for this person, we need to make sure that this person doesn't fall off track from a behavioral perspective. You can put the finances in a lot of automation, but yet the human is illogical. We make emotional decisions on a daily basis, and with marketing and sales the way it is right now, we're constantly chasing shiny objects. Okay? So I had to make sure that in our engagement with that client, we can't be too far of a gap away. So we needed to get a sweet spot. And that sweet spot, they say in coaching and in behavioral coaching, more importantly, someone will forget something very quickly. So how can we plant a seed, and how can I make it so that they have reminders? Enough. Okay. So just so everyone understands, we do 2 weekly communications with our clients. One in a video format, one in written format. Simply for the fact that I want people to walk into Coles or Woolies and be like, John. People have told me, it happens all the time. It's like, we shouldn't buy that because I saw your video, or I saw your email, and it reminded me of what you said before.
Yeah.
So we need to be in their face daily. And as the world gets more entrenched in these TikToks and this social media, John needs to increase his presence. So I am like the good guy on the shoulder, and there's the bad guy. I'm the good guy on the shoulder going, don't do it. Don't do it, or do it. Or don't do it. You get me what I mean? So that needs to be done very regularly. Then you need to have reflection points and then projection points. Okay, so the reflection, where were we? What have we done well? What have we haven't done well? Where were we supposed to be? Are we off track or on track? And then what do we need to work on? Now, if we're looking, say, at a 90-day window, what are we working on when it comes to the stock market, managed funds? Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's a major crash, you're not working on anything. And this is where people get, like, well, I don't need a financial advisor. Oh. It takes ages for most people to get six-pack. Okay? You don't do a couple of sit-ups and then go get a plan and you're like, you're done. No, you got to stick to it. And then when you're getting used to it and not feeling the burn anymore, maybe you need to do more planks. Maybe we'll get more exercise. Working with my personal trainer, he's constantly rejigging things and adding stuff and moving my tech. Constant. That's the behavior.
Yeah.
So then, after years and years of doing this, I have clients that make money so easily that the difference between one product to another is so insignificant because they've got the right mindset, they've got the right behaviors, they're planning and executing based on logic. Now we're transforming.
Yeah.
And that is a vision that happened from a 20-year-old kid, probably maybe even earlier, that didn't know what he was doing up until about 28.
Yeah.
And then now executing on that vision.
And I think it's important to kind of what you just outlined there, what you get with a traditional financial planner. So you see them at the start, like you said, you get all the factual information, you try and squeeze in a strategy during that meeting, and then you say, well, we can deliver this for you. It's going to take 46 weeks to prepare the financial plan. You present the plan, and then, thanks so much, sign here, we'll see you in 12 months. What you're just talking about there, from that point to 12 months, you're right, they forget.
Well, they forget, but also, if you go back, how did you come up with the strategy?
Yeah.
So the execution of how the strategy, like that's that whole way of doing things is wrong.
Yes.
Like, the thing is that when it comes to people's finances, it's been influenced by the way that the banks have been in the industry, people and super funds, and people like in investment companies. If people haven't realized this, wake up. wake up. That process is how can I get data in, get service out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
That's why most people don't like financial advisors. That's
Yeah.
why there's a bad connotation around them. And that's why really I don't know what to call myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't see myself as a financial advisor.
Yeah.
What you just explained then, I wouldn't pay for.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do. But hang on a second. I've got an advisor in my business that takes care of mine and my family's affairs. Because we need to make sure that from a behavioral side of things and from a mindset side of things that we are constantly in check and are constantly improving.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that some of my clients make easy money, how many people, including what you just spoke about, are making illogical decisions based on emotion?
Most people.
Most people. So if you could rid yourself from emotions, which you can't do, PS, but if you could rid yourself and just base it on logic, it's a pretty good head start you have on everyone. And I'm going to show you an example of where this works. So let's say stock market crashes by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone says, everyone I know,
Yes.
I will buy at the bottom.
Yeah.
I have been through 2 big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone I know that didn't do it. Cool?
Yeah. In hindsight, it's great because you know it's the bottom, right? But when you're in it, you're scared just like everybody else.
When COVID happened, our clients made a lot of money. 2 reasons. One, through the leadership of the people that empower them and trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, they understood why we were doing things, education.
Yeah.
And they had the right behaviours and then tolerance to then execute. Now, that just doesn't happen with a market crash.
Yeah.
He's talking about daily decisions on what you make. And then also, Ayten, what that means for the next generation. So, I don't mean to put people down, and I don't, when it comes to other financial planning businesses, but I do see it becoming obsolete soon. One of the things that people are searching for and yearning for is for someone to change what's going on. And I openly haven't shared this, so I know it's getting a bit deep, but I feel that my purpose is to improve financial literacy in Australia at least, okay, and help pave the way for a new wave to do things, because it is only getting harder for everyone. And I really have seen, even in my lifetime, the difference between the rich and the poor, and that is only getting worse and worse. I can try and educate and try and help people as much as I can, but obviously they've got to be willing to want to change. But from what I see and what we're doing with people and what people are saying to me, I'm so thankful for my ideas coming to fruition, the people that I've built to band together, for everyone who's entrusted us to make that change and that have stayed committed to the change. Yeah. Because the future looks bright for all of those families. And now, after so many years and actually seeing the fruits of actually what's happening from setting off a plan, making these changes for these people behaviourally, and now seeing it actually happen. You know, I was just on the weekend at a barbecue for a client/friend, as they always do. We were there for the Cancer Council, doing one of those morning teas. And, you know, they're like, we're going away to Europe for 3 months. And I'm like, 3 months? I'm like, and these, just so you understand, this was he used to be a clothes ultra. Yeah, so it wasn't big bucks. You done it out of passion. And she was a school admin assistant. And for them to be able to go on that 3-month holiday, retired, living the rest of their life not worrying about money, I just reflected of when I first saw them a decade ago. Yeah. And I remember the plans we executed and what we wanted to, and in reflection, they've actually exceeded whatever we planned, because most people overestimate what they can do in 12 months, but underestimate what they can do in 12 years. And I just keep empowering people, both you know, the people I work with, the people that are on this podcast, you know, listening to the podcast or watching, everyone I speak to. And for those who know me, the person I am here is the person you'll meet. Just keep on empowering people for a better future. And, you know, like those kids in the primary school yard that maybe needed a little bit of support, I just can't help but gravitate around them and hopefully pick them up to be stronger.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the passion. And I think that's so important, because when you lose the passion, that's when things kind of fall apart. But your reflection, and even the clients, like you've had the Thriving Wealth launch party, and the clients you meet there, from old to young, you know, you've got everyone in between. It's amazing to see how committed they are to the journey, because it is a journey. It's not, you know, you meet once, you meet in 12 months, and then you meet in like 2 years. Like it doesn't work like that. You need to be committed. You need to know the clients inside out. And I think there's a terminology that you use. We need to look around corners that you can't see. That's where the passion comes from. You get to know the clients on a different level. It's not a very surface level. It's very much deep. How did you kind of get here? Where do you want to go from here? You know, they want to talk about their kids and invest for their kids in the future. And the passion, it's just amazing to see.
Ayten, if you actually think about it, some of the biggest decisions you'll make in life are around health, unfortunately. Like, it'll be like, you know, do we give that surgery to that brother or that sister or that child, whatever, and hopefully everyone has a beautiful, healthy life. But the other biggest decisions you'll make in your life are your financial ones.
Yeah. Get
them wrong, you're not making it easy for yourself. Get it right. So I just feel obligated to, and I have no obligation, but I feel obligated to help people make better decisions so that they have a more fulfilled life. I'm not trying to make people into squillionaires. If that happens, good luck to them.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to put them into a position where they never need to worry about money again, but they've also lived a fulfilled life and enjoy it along the way. You know, my wife honestly, she's like, John, you do this even if you weren't getting paid for it. And it's probably true. You know, I love it because when I bump into these people and they say thank you and merely mean it at a core level, it means a lot for me. Yeah. You know, I was listening to someone the other day, and it's like, Denzel Washington actually, and he was saying like, when you help someone out, it's a little bit selfish. But that's an okay selfish. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's very selfish of me, but I am addicted to helping people and the feeling you get when someone's being transformed into a better life.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that for someone, I don't know, like you have to see it to believe it. It's way more fulfilling than anything in life, giving back.
Yeah.
And so that gets to the core of all this is I just want to help as many people as I can.
Yeah.
And I've used the business to be able to do that, and how amazing is that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so grateful to be a part of the business too. So yeah, really appreciate your time today to get on a deeper level and just kind of get to know you a little bit better. I mean, obviously, you know, you can be on social media and, you know, you got a 1 minute video, you're trying to convey your message and stuff. So I think sometimes your personality can be lost in social media, but just to sit down with you and to get to know the real John and the passion, see the passion, and you go into every meeting with the same passion. I've never once seen you in a meeting where you're just mediocre. It's 100% or 150% you're just gangbusters. And yeah, it's just really nice to see and be part of. So thanks for your time today, John.
Thanks for the deep and meaningful questions, and hopefully you got a lot out of that. So if you're enjoying these videos or enjoying this podcast, make sure to follow us on all the main podcast streaming platforms, and also to subscribe on our YouTube as well. But thank you. Thanks for being a part of Thriving Wealth and jumping on here as well. Ayten, thanks. See ya.